We take you live to Niagara Falls, where the SIU is providing an update on a fatal officer-involved shooting. Let's listen in.
Niagara Regional Police Service officers were tracking a male individual, 38 years old, who was subject to an Amber Alert, and he was tracked to the Gales gas bar behind me. This was at about 2:30 this morning. There was an interaction involving the man and the officers, and then there was a discharge of a firearm at the man. The man was struck multiple times. Paramedics were summoned and first aid was provided, and the man was pronounced deceased at the scene. Right now, there are SIU investigators collecting evidence, and they are interviewing witnesses. They are also collecting CCTV, that sort of thing, and it's to paint a picture of what happened. If there's any questions, I can do my best to try to answer.
What prompted police to shoot multiple times?
So what precipitated that shooting is basically what the SIU is investigating. So that's why we're talking to any witnesses and trying to collect any video evidence. There was a firearm that was recovered at the scene that belonged to the male individual. But as far as what happened prior to the police firing the weapon, that's what we are investigating right now.
Did the suspect fire their firearm?
I don't have information about a discharge of firearm from the male. That's what we are investigating, but I can tell you there was a firearm recovered at the scene.
How many police officers discharged their firearms?
At this time, I understand one officer discharged their firearm.
Designations?
Designations haven't yet occurred. We're just compiling a list of officers that were involved and trying to work through all that. I can tell you there is a postmortem examination that's scheduled for tomorrow for the male individual, and there were no officers that were injured.
We noticed a large edged weapon beside the vehicle on the scene. What can you tell us about that? It looked almost like a samurai sword.
I don't have any information about that kind of weapon. I was told about a firearm that was recovered. That's news to me, what you're talking about.
What brought the police to this location?
My understanding is that police were tracking this individual, and they ended up boxing in a vehicle that the man was in, and then there were shots fired. Niagara Police may be able to speak more on that, but the focus of the SIU investigation really is the police discharge of firearm and the deceased individual.
How many police vehicles are here in the scene itself?
I don't have exact figures on that, but I believe there are at least two, and forensic investigators are currently looking at that and taking photographs, and I understand there'll be a drone and that kind of thing, just in an effort to collect evidence.
I know it's very... Sorry, go ahead.
In the original report, the homicide from yesterday, the suspect had gotten away in a Nissan Click, I believe. This doesn't appear to be that vehicle. What can you tell us about the vehicle involved? Was there a switch?
I don't have much information on that, but there is a Chevy that the man was in that's at the scene behind me. As far as that other vehicle, I don't have information on that, but that vehicle is not at this scene.
Is there any understanding of what state of mind this suspect was in at the time he was located in the vehicle? Were they under the influence? Were they... how were they...
So there was a female that was in the vehicle, and we're attempting to speak with her, but we haven't spoke with her yet. So it's really hard to say what may or may not have been going through her head at the time and what her involvement may or may not have been. And as I said, so the SIU investigation really is focused on the police discharge of firearm and the deceased individual. Of course, we'll be looking to speak with other people who may have seen what happened, but there's also parallel investigations happening with the Peel Regional Police in Brampton, and then there's also the Niagara Regional Police, obviously, who are here on scene as well.
How old was that female?
I don't have information on her age. I just know that there was a female involved in that Chevy vehicle.
Can you speak to what drew this guy out to Niagara region generally, if you know?
No, I can't. It's not really part of the SIU's investigation, but it's an important question for sure.
Did that female suffer any injuries? Have to go to hospital?
No injuries from anyone other than the deceased individual.
Can you speculate on like a timeline for like the initial contact to the shooting itself?
About 2:30 this morning, this occurred.
There's a booster seat in the car as well. Was there any children in the vehicle at the time?
There were no children in the vehicle.
Was the female the driver or the passenger?
I believe the female was the driver. That's all the information I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be getting an update from the SIU regarding that officer-involved shooting. We are learned that the 38-year-old individual, actually, we're going to hear more from police. Let's listen in.
Just following up on some of the SIU's investigation here, and what brought us to this point. As you know, there was a shelter in place that was issued last night for the Crystal Beach and Ridgeway area. That was the subject of the Peel Amber Alert. What led us to that was that at some point shortly after the Amber Alert, the Niagara Regional Police Service received information that the child subject of that Amber Alert was found safe in Niagara. However, the male subject of the Amber Alert was still outstanding. We received evidence that took us to Crystal Beach, and based on that evidence, a shelter in place was put in. That was to ensure not only the public safety, but the safety of our officers while they were looking for the subject, who was believed to be armed at the time as a result of the Peel information. That subject left the area, and at some other point during the evening, we gained information that he was in the area of Niagara Falls here, and that was what precipitated the contact here at the gas station.
Rough timeline to the time that when the child was found, roughly, or located, and the shelter in place, how long that lasted for, roughly?
The timeline was roughly about 2 hours or 2.5 hours between the time that the child was reported safe and the time that we gained some evidence of the possible whereabouts of our subject.
And what time was that the child was
about
reported
seven?
safe?
Oh, sorry. The child was reported safe.
Yes.
Yeah, about 5 o'clock, or yeah, about 5 o'clock. Yeah.
Who was the child found in custody with?
The relationship between the subject and that we don't know. The child was believed to be in the custody of a family member. And the relationship between the family member and the child is still, we don't know.
So safe to say that the suspect has family in the Niagara region.
I don't know if the suspect has family in it. He does have a contact of some sort in the Niagara region.
Was the issue between the subject and the woman driving the car? Is there
that I don't know. The woman that has been that was in that car, we don't know what that relation is right now.
not been arrested or charged?
She is in our custody right now. Charges are pending.
The engagement behind us, are those Niagara or Peel unmarked pickup trucks behind us?
Behind us, those are our Niagara ETU. Okay.
What was she arrested for?
Right now would be for accessory and abetting.
Okay, thank you.
But those charges aren't filed.
They're not filed yet. Right now we have her under arrest, as you can well imagine. She's in the car with a suspect there.
Is the Amber Alert vehicle the one that was seen originally?
Where the Amber Alert vehicle has been recovered, I don't know, but it's my understanding that vehicle has been recovered.
Can you speak more to what was, I guess, number 6 on the ground there? It looked like a machete or something.
I can't. I didn't get that close to the scene, sir, to go over evidence, and that evidence would be subject to the SIU. Okay? Thank you.
We've been getting some more details from police regarding this officer-involved shooting in the wake of that Amber Alert that was issued yesterday. We know that the 38-year-old male in connection to this Amber Alert was killed by officers. SIU is investigating. Officers say that he was struck multiple times. First aid was provided. He was pronounced deceased at the scene. Police also saying that a firearm was recovered. A post-mortem is scheduled for tomorrow. But we can also tell you that there was a female in the vehicle at the time. She is also under arrest and facing charges, and that the child in connection to this Amber Alert was found safe in Niagara.